phase.
Ladies, 10 don'ts. Like, never ever do these things if you are in the dating phase. Now, of course, you can do these things, but if you want to attract a healthy provider, masculine energy man, a man that is just really activated in his masculine energy, in his provider chase energy, then you definitely do not want to do these things. And we know this to be true. Not only did it work with me attracting my amazing provider husband, Coach B, but this has helped so many women that we have coached who are now actually engaged and married.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, and I want to give you the man's perspective on exactly why you don't want to do these things and how doing what we're going to share
yeah.
will help you attract that healthy masculine energy man.
So I'm really excited about this one because we broke this down. I'm going to give you five, and Coach B is going to give you
Mm.
five. So these are things that I knew about before I entered the dating phase, before I was ready to attract my husband. I had the skills, and this is what we want to help you ladies with on this channel is how to skill up so
Yes.
you can really attract that man that wants to give you that princess treatment, that wants to provide for you, and also just to help you enjoy dating again so it
Mm.
doesn't feel exhausting.
Yes.
All right, ladies, you ready?
Yeah, so before we get started, for those of you
Yeah.
who are just joining,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Coach B, former lifelong bachelor of 30 plus years, was single the majority of my life,
Mm-hmm.
and was able to find, either finds a wife finds a good thing and
Mm-hmm.
obtains favor, was able to find my wife, who was a single mom at the time.
Yes. So I understand the struggle dating life, ladies, because I was a single mom when I re entered the dating phase. I re entered the dating phase later on in life. Things had changed so much from when I was in my early 20s, and we didn't have dating apps, we didn't have social media. It was old school. We weren't even using cell phones really. Like we
Right.
just started using cell phones. So there was no texting, and it was the old school call the house phone type
Mm.
thing. Okay, and I'm not that ancient, but I'm a little bit ancient.
Mm.
So when I re-entered the dating world, I was like completely overwhelmed.
Mm.
So if that is you, I understand, but don't worry, this is why you're on this channel. You probably want to subscribe because we help you on this channel to really master your feminine energy, your nervous system, and your hormones. That is a great trifecta for the woman. And that is an area I really specialize in with helping women. That's the area that I coach women in is all those three things. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So we're going to jump into these 10 points.
All right.
I'll give the first point and then we can rotate from
Okay.
there. So the
Be fun.
first the first don't when you're in a dating relationship and you want to attract a healthy masculine energy man, the
Mm-hmm.
first don't for you ladies is don't overshare.
Mm.
And this is something that happens so often when you meet a guy, he's a nice guy, he checks all the boxes,
Mm-hmm.
he has a great smile, he says all the right things, and you just feel so comfortable around him.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I feel so comfortable. Things are so easy talking to you. So you look up, you've already told him the address where you grew up at, you told him where you work. He knows about all your kids and about, what schools they go to. You just overshare because you feel so good around him and you believe that telling him everything is going to make him like you even more.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does is it can cause him to take a step back because it's too much too soon.
Mm-hmm.
So oversharing too soon is something you don't want to do, even if he's a great guy, even if he's a guy that seems safe. He's a guy that's a provider.
Mm-hmm.
He's paid for everything on the first date you went on,
Mm-hmm.
and he's talking about paying again. He might have brought you flowers or whatever the case is. Make sure you're taking your time and going through the process of getting to know him, because oversharing can
Mm-hmm.
have the opposite effect of what you want.
Yes, ladies, this is really important. And the reason why, exactly what Coach B was saying, is you want to create that energetic space, a little bit of mystery. We're not going to be cold and wall is up and you're closed off and you can't even have a conversation with the guy. That's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is often women get really excited when they're dating a guy that they really like.
Yes.
I'm going to give you an example with us in a second. And then they overshare.
Mm.
And then what happens is there's nothing left for him to get to know.
Yes.
You want to leave a little bit of mystery. You want to leave him curious, okay? Write this down, ladies. Curiosity controls attention.
Mm,
Curiosity controls attention. Okay, so when you're on the dating phase, you want to really have that space for him to get to know you more and want to get to know you more. And also, all that energy is coming towards him. That's masculine energy. That's why he will subconsciously be turned off if you're just coming at him way too hard, telling him everything about your life. Now, here's an example because I knew this, ladies. When Coach B and I first started talking, he had no idea what I did. So he knew that I was a nurse.
mhm,
I went to school. I was an RN at one point, and then I became an entrepreneur and had businesses, but I never ever said anything about
mm,
what I did. I never talked about my social media.
mm.
I never talked about any of that stuff. And so he was like talking about like Amazon, he was talking about all this stuff.
Right.
And I had like years of experience selling on these platforms, and I did not even bring it up. I was like, oh, that's so
I know, I
interesting.
know, I
Oh, so interesting.
know.
He had no idea it was on social media,
Uh,
nothing. Okay. So that's an example of not oversharing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the thing is, he may ask you some question,
Hmm.
and you're like, okay, what do I say? He's asking me, do I not say anything?
Yeah.
And we talk about this so often in the FEA,
Hmm.
how to navigate these
Yeah.
conversations with men when
Yeah.
you're getting to know them. So it's important you have those skills,
Hmm.
and maybe you can go into how to navigate
Yeah.
it. But you have to go in with a plan, understanding
Yeah.
how he's thinking, how he's approaching getting to know you, so you're not caught off guard. And now it's like, what do I do?
Hmm.
Because I don't want to, like you said, come off cold. I don't want to ignore him.
Hmm.
I don't want to just switch subjects. What do I do? Because
Hmm.
if he's interested in me, I want to let him know that I'm interested in him as well.
Hmm. That's so good. Well,
Yes.
let's go to point number two because
Oh, I thought you were going to explain it.
well,
Go to
well, I'm like, we got 10 points, so I'll explain
yes,
it later.
not so much.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so point number two, ladies, never, ever, ever approach a man.
Mm,
So even if you're walking around and you're out and about and you guys see each other, you lock eyes and he tells you to come over. No, 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 no.
mm,
He needs to come to you.
yes.
You never slip a man your phone number. Now, I see this all the time. There's viral social media videos where the man is like high-fiving his boys after because this beautiful model comes over and hands him, her number. And yes, of course, a man is going to love that.
Mm,
He is going to love, of course, he's going to call you. That is low hanging fruit for
yeah.
him. You literally, it's like a fish that just like plopped up, in the fishing boat. And it's like, here, eat me,
Yeah.
no effort. You're not going to be a prize fish. He had to do nothing
Yeah.
to get you. And you might think this is a great idea at the beginning because he's a great guy. And of course, he's reciprocating it. But over time, the reason why you don't want to start a relationship like that is because he is in his receiving
Mm,
energy. If he is not the one initiating, coming towards you, getting your number, picking up the phone
yeah.
and calling you,
Yeah.
planning the date, you're not doing any of those things. If he is the one, if he is not doing any of those things, ladies, it's gonna turn into a situationship,
Yeah.
first of all. I already guarantee it's gonna turn into a situationship, or it's going to turn into a boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, which is basically a situationship,
Mm,
or a marriage where you have to drag him along. You're going to have to tell him to go take out the garbage.
yeah.
You're going to have to tell him, hey, when's the last time we've gone on a date? Why aren't you taking me on dates?
Mm,
You're going to probably have to pay his bills. Okay. So we want to avoid that. I'm like, I know you guys are probably like, Natasha, you're being so dramatic. I see the
yeah.
patterns. I've coached well over a
Yes.
thousand women. I see the same patterns over and over and over again.
Mm,
Okay, so women just do better when the man is the one that has to approach you, has to get your number, has to plan the dates, has to take you out, and he's in his pursuing energy
yeah.
with you. Hmm.
And we hear so often, like, different quotes like, okay, a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Mm.
Or, if I like something, I'm going to go and approach because I don't want to miss this opportunity.
Right.
And it sounds good in theory,
Mm-hmm.
but you going over there, even if you're talking to him and he gives you his card, like, call me. That's along the same lines
Mm-hmm.
because it's not him pursuing you. He wants you to pursue him.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful with that and understanding for a man when you're reaching out to him first, when you're always trying to go on a date with him. In his mind, you have no leverage.
Mhm.
He has all the leverage. So whatever he wants, he'll say stuff that he probably wouldn't say
Mhm.
to someone that he had to pursue.
Yeah.
He'll do things within the conversation just to test and see how far he can go. So it goes from him getting to know you. Now he's just testing to see where this can go, because most of the time in his mind, he's already decided that you're probably not the type of woman that he wants to marry because of your aggressiveness in pursuing him.
Mhm.
And women that are more laid back, in a sense of women that allow you to come after them. And
Yeah.
I've interviewed so many men. I had one man who I was talking to, and I talked to them in the dating for marriage community. He's been married over 15 years.
Yeah.
He told me what was different about his wife is she made him chase him.
Mhm.
She made him chase her.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He had to chase her, which was different than what had happened in previous relationship,
Mhm.
different women he had been with. She was the one that made him chase her. And for him, he was like, okay, I want her. I like this. It's something that as men we enjoy, not that we're running around and you don't want to get caught, but no, you understand he needs to chase you in a
Mhm.
way that you're letting him know
Mhm.
that you like him, but you're not giving him everything.
Mhm.
And that chase is what men desire, because
Mhm.
when we capture you, when we catch you, now we know that no one else caught you.
Mhm.
We out of everyone who tried, we were the one who were able to catch you.
Mhm.
So now we're taking you that much more serious, and most men want to marry you at that point.
That was so good, babe. And
Yes,
also, just to add to that, ladies, you can drop the handkerchief. You can, all you have to do with a man is make eye contact.
yes,
If you literally, all you really have to do is exist. As long as you're in his visual
yes,
vicinity, if he is interested and he's available, he
yes,
might be interested and not available, but anyway, that's another story.
yes.
But if he is interested, he is going to come over to you. That's all you have to do. Now, if you're noticing that men are not approaching you and not asking for your number, then that's something else that, we got to help you with, of
Mm,
course. Or it could be the types of guys that you're attracted
yeah,
to. You don't want to be with a man that doesn't pursue you.
mm,
Like what Coach B always says, you want to like the people that like you.
yeah,
And if he doesn't have the balls to walk over to you and get your number, he's not in his masculine
mm,
energy. And that's all I can really
yeah.
say.
That sums it up
Yeah.
so much. Well, I'll give the
Yeah.
third point. This is
Okay.
the third point, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
I'll give the third point. The don't when dating for
Mm-hmm.
women. And this don't talk bad about any of the men in your life,
Mm,
specifically your past relationships.
that's good.
What men are doing is we're not even consciously doing it sometimes, but we're just scanning to see if there's something in there that won't allow us to move forward to get to know you or feel
Mhm,
comfortable. And if you're talking bad about the previous relationship
mhm,
or men in your life,
mhm,
we're looking like, guess who's next up?
mm,
All right. Guess who's next up to get talked bad about?
yeah,
Because we understand, even though we don't have a definition for it, we understand your relationship with the masculine isn't healthy.
mhm,
So it won't be healthy with us. We're not looking at ourselves like we're special. No, we're just like the last guy in your mind. So we're special within ourselves, but to you, we're just another guy. Eventually, what's on the inside of you is going to come out. So if you have thoughts or feelings towards exes that aren't necessarily good, or men in your life that aren't good, eventually, if it's not healed, if it's not something you address, it's going to come around and you're going
mhm,
to feel that way about us. So we'd rather not waste our time in getting to know you. I don't care how good you look,
mhm,
how good you smell, how much of a wife you think you are.
yeah,
Men are going to avoid that situation, especially healthy masculine energy men that want to marry you. Now, men may still pursue you,
mhm,
but most of those will turn into situationships. So understand, talking bad about men or previous relationship is a definitely a don't when in a dating relationship.
that's so good, babe.
Yes.
Because, ladies, this is going to lower your value. What actually up levels your value, your perceived market value, and we're not talking about your worthiness. You're worthy. You're a child of God. That's not what we're talking about. But what actually up levels your worthiness in the marketplace as a woman is not having a bunch of baggage. So the more pure you are, the more the masculine's gonna be attracted to
Yeah.
that. Now, you have maybe gone through stuff like all of us, but this is why it's so important to get healing. You got to clear that out of your energy fields. You can't just ignore what happened to you,
Mm.
ignore your ex, ignore, the divorce or your, baby daddy
Yeah.
issues, whatever it is, the situationship, re-enter the dating phase and think that you're just going to attract a healthy man.
Yeah.
You got to literally let go. You got to let go of all that crap because it's subconsciously
Yes.
going to come out in the dating phase.
Yeah.
And men have like these radars. They can smell
Mm.
if a woman has baggage,
Yeah.
right? And then on top of it, if you bring it up, oh, my ex, he did this. Oh my gosh, I've been cheated on. Oh my gosh, my ex didn't do this.
Yep.
My ex did that. You're gonna turn him off so fast. So don't do that,
Yeah.
ladies. Yeah.
So good. You want to go with point
Yes.
number four?
Oh my gosh, this one is huge, ladies. Like lean in for this one. Do not get attached to the man
Mm.
before there's a ring on your finger. Do not get attached to any man until there's a ring on your finger,
Mm.
an engagement ring,
Yeah.
okay, where he's publicly declared
Yes.
that he wants you as his wife, that he
Mhm.
publicly has declared that he wants to provide and protect you and show up for you.
Yeah.
Women all the time, especially women that are wounded, get so attached to the guy. This is typically what happens, okay? So you're back on the dating scene, some guy's pursuing you. Maybe you've done a little bit of inner healing,
Mm.
you've done a little bit of things, and you're a little bit more magnetic. You attract a man. He is amazing. He's different than anything you've ever dated before. You guys have amazing
Yeah.
chemistry. He matches your love list, whatever. Okay. And he's pursuing you. Now you're attached.
Yeah.
Now you're attached. And it's been one date. It's been one date, or it's been a couple months,
Yeah.
right? And then what the reason why you don't want to get attached is because you are in your needy energy.
Mhm.
Your energy is coming towards him. I'm not saying wall is up, but this is why we encourage our ladies to rotationally
Yes.
date so that your energy does not get attached to one guy too soon until he has fully
Mm.
stepped up and showed you,
Yes.
not told you, because
Yes.
every man's going to tell you that he wants to marry you.
Yes.
Every man's going to tell you he's never met anyone like you, like you before ever. Okay. Men will tell you that. And then you sleep with them.
Mm.
Okay. So we want to avoid that situation. And you want to stay detached until, you guys are in that engagement phase. And even with my amazing husband, as amazing
Oh,
as he
thank you.
is, I can proudly say that I stayed detached until we were engaged. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you've healed your attachment style and your nervous system.
Mm.
And you know that you are so worthy that it's this or something better. And you are so worthy that if he goes away or he's not showing up properly, like the way he says he's going to, you can walk away and your self esteem is not in the toilet.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's so important to stay detached
Mm-hmm.
in the dating phase
Yeah.
because we understand as you start conversating, getting to know, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times the guy can you want him to show you who he is
Mm-hmm.
over time
Yeah.
because anyone can put on an act for a certain time or it
Mm-hmm.
could be an emotional moment
Mm-hmm.
where something connected and now he's saying whatever he needs to say to feel like to get what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he'll say whatever, you're the best person ever and sometimes he can mean it,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to see over time. You don't know his last name at this point. You don't know anything about his dating history. You don't know anything. You've already attached yourself to him, feeling like this may be the one. So you have to be careful in that sense and not just, okay, go all in with him because you had a couple of good dates. And rotationally dating is so important. Now, this is something that men do all the time. Men call it having rosters.
Yeah.
Men have rosters, they're dating multiple women. What we're saying for you is date multiple men. Now, if you don't feel comfortable dating, 4 or 5, whatever the number is great. But we're not saying sleep with these
Mm-mm.
guys. Don't sleep with them.
Mm-mm.
Get to know, go on a couple of dates with them, give them time to show you, not tell you, because they'll tell you anything. Give
Mm-hmm.
them time to show you that they're who they say they are, that they're the person who potentially can be the one that you can have a serious relationship with, potentially get married to. But It all happens by staying detached because when you're detached, now he wants to pursue you even more, especially if you're available but
Mhm.
detached. If you're, okay, I have something going on tonight, I'm going out, or I have work, or, I'm going out with some friends or something like that. You're not just available every time he calls. That's going to cause him to want to pursue you even more, get to know you even more. It's going to want to cause him to take you off the
Mhm.
market. Because it's one thing for him to be attracted to you, but until he's ready to take you off the market,
Mhm.
he's not looking at you as the person he wants to be with. It's just a convenience at that time.
Baby, that was so good.
Mm,
Yeah, because ladies, you also, when you're so detached and unbothered and you just have an amazing life going on and you don't even notice if he hasn't called you or texted you, that's what makes you insanely
yes.
magnetic to the masculine. So if you find that you get attached really easily in the dating phase with men, that is a sign, an invitation for you to get healing. So this is one of the biggest things that we help our ladies with in our dating for marriage. No, sorry, in our Feminine Energy Academy. We have a couple different communities.
Yes.
But in our Feminine Energy Academy, that is a big thing that I help women with, which is healing your nervous system, healing your attachment style, and even healing your
Mm,
hormones. Because if you're anxious and stressed all the time, you're gonna be anxious in the dating phase. And it's gonna be such a turnoff to men. But when like I love watching our ladies that we coach because
mm,
they go from being anxious and like attached really
yes.
easily to they come in, they do the inner healing, they listen to our audio activations, they do the feminine energy detachment work
Yes.
through the dating phase. And so they're just enjoying dating more. They're not overthinking, they're not anxious and
Yes.
stressed. They're talking to a few different guys, even if they really, really like one guy. That's okay to really, really like one guy. There's a good chance you are going to really like one guy, but you still want to be talking to other men
Mm,
because it's going to help take all that energy off of that one guy, which he can feel.
yes.
That's your energy coming towards him, and it's going to subconsciously turn him off.
Yes.
So, once again, if that's something you struggle with, then I really encourage you to get healing in that area because it's going to completely change the game for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's go to our fifth point. And
Yes.
this is almost connected to our fourth point about don't get attached to them,
Mhm.
stay detached. And one way, and this is a don't.
Okay.
One thing that we see often, and this is from the ladies who join in,
Mhm.
ladies who first come into our community
Mhm.
before they get the healing, is
Yeah.
you start giving him stuff and doing stuff for him,
Mhm.
and you're in the girlfriend stage. So
Mhm.
you're not in a committed relationship. You're not going towards marriage. He has your car key. He
Mhm.
has your house key. He has access to you. You're buying him stuff. I was just thinking about you. So you bought him lunch. You're all of your energy is going towards him. You want him to know so much that you're all in for him that you just start doing things like you're in a marriage or committed relationship.
Mhm.
So you want to be careful about this. And this is something that we've seen personally with
Mhm.
the ladies who we've talked to on here, where ladies start saying, okay, I gave him a key, or even you accepted a key from him, like, okay, I have his key, I can go to his house. You all are functioning like you're in a marriage relationship, but no one's even made it official. No one's
Mhm.
done anything outside of their comfort zone. You don't have access to anything that matters of his in some point. You don't even know, he always has his phone flipped over or it's on silent all the time, but he has everything from you. He has your passcode for your phone, all the keys, and you're doing so much for him. You want to be careful, ladies, not to overdo when you're getting to know someone in a dating relationship because that's exactly where it will stay. It'll
Mhm.
never evolve to anything else. It'll just be like, we have everything we need now.
Mhm.
What's the use of us getting a piece of paper?
Mhm.
What's the use of us making it official? We're already official. You know how you feel. If you know, you know. No, all of those quotes mean that he's not ready to move forward with you.
Mhm.
He's comfortable where he's at. He
Mhm.
has everything he needs, and you have to make sure you don't allow him
Yeah.
to get comfortable in that way when you're in the dating phase and getting to know him.
Mm. Babe, you said that perfectly.
Yes.
Ladies, like I just have to echo what you're saying,
Yeah.
right? Where it's just if you do everything for him, he has no reason to pursue
Yes.
you. Period.
Yes.
Period. Like I can't even add to that, baby. That was so good.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
got the 6 point.
Okay, so the sixth thing to never, ever do in the dating phase and in the marriage phase, by the way,
Mm,
this continues on into the marriage phase, is do not be reactive.
Mm.
You as a
Yes.
woman cannot be reactive. If you only remember one thing from today, I want you to remember this. Do not be reactive.
Mm.
Because what I mean by being reactive is that you get triggered.
Yeah.
You respond right away. You're sending him long text messages, voice notes. You're yelling at him. You say the wrong things to him.
Yeah.
Okay, don't do that because he's triggered you. Now, it does, I mean, for bad guys or great guys, either or, you
Yeah.
still don't want to be like this because you as a woman, I mean, you want to be in your magnetic feminine. When you're in your magnetic feminine, one of
Mm.
the staple things that you have to embody is emotional mastery. And this is going to require some nervous system healing. If you are used to reacting, and just look at how you are throughout the day. Do you tend to react what you see on social media,
Mm.
your text messages, your emails, phone calls,
Yes.
at work, when you look at your bank account? Do you tend to be reactive with your kids? And I'm saying this because this was me. I was hyper reactive
Mm.
because I was so wounded. And when you are, it's kind of like a wounded dog, right? And I'm just being honest because that was me.
Mm.
When you have a wounded dog,
Yeah.
they are hyper triggered.
Yeah.
They're unpredictable.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go around them. They could be the cutest, sweetest dog, but you don't know how they're going to react. So everyone avoids that dog. Okay, you might be like that. I was like that, where it's like you could look perfect, but if you're reacting to everyone and everything in your environment, it's just a sign you need major
Yeah.
healing because you could take an amazing relationship, an amazing man who wants to love you and provide and marry you. But if you are hyper reactive, you will destroy that. He will not want to marry you. He'll sleep with you 1000% because men will sleep with anyone
Mm.
typically. He'll sleep with you, but he's not going to want to take it into marriage because he just can't. He doesn't feel safe around you
Mm.
subconsciously. And how men will say it is like, oh, this is too much work.
Mm.
She's too much work, right? You're always
Yes.
creating drama. You're always upset. You're always nagging about something. Now, of course, then you're like, okay, but what do I do if
Mm.
how do I get my needs met? How do I communicate what I want? Girl, I got you. Okay. So, first of all, the first thing you're going to do is heal your nervous system so you're not hyper triggered about anything, whether you're checking your bank accounts, whether it's your kids, or whether it's the guys that you're dating. Okay. That's the first step. And the second step is you need to understand how to communicate the feminine energy way,
Mm.
which is a huge thing of what, and it's going to be on what to say and what not to say to before my husband came
Yeah.
to share.
Yeah.
But I also had the emotional mastery in the healed nervous system to follow through with
Yeah.
it. Because you can know what to say, not to say, and do and what not to do with a man,
That's true.
but you can't hide your energy.
Yeah.
You can't hide your nervous system, babe. That is your subconscious, and that's 90%. And men can feel that.
Yeah.
So, of course, we're going to leave that for only our women in our Feminine Energy Academy. It's going to be super potent. So, I'm not sharing it on YouTube
Yeah.
because I don't want it to get into the wrong hands. But my husband doesn't know that I knew all these things. Look at his face.
Ah.
And I knew to say, not to say. Okay. So we're going to share that with you ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy tomorrow, Saturday. If you're watching this replay, you can still get access to that training. It's going to be located in our Divine Dating for Marriage program under the communication section. So I have a whole section where I teach you ladies how to communicate in dating and marriage. So it will be there available for you as well if you're watching the replay right now. And if you're new here, you get a free trial. So you can jump in literally right now and jump into that masterclass for tomorrow, or you can catch the replay. And that is something that will either make or break your dating life and your marriage. I 1000% guarantee.
Mm. And I
Mm.
just wanted to add a little to it
Yeah.
about not being reactive during the dating
Mm,
phase. It's so important because as a man, if you're super reactive,
mm-hmm.
which for us is super emotional,
Mm,
you're super emotional, you can't control yourself in the moment. Now we're looking like she doesn't have any self-control.
mm-hmm.
She doesn't know how to control herself when times are good, bad, indifferent. It's just a trait that for us as men,
Mm-hmm.
we understand that women, lead more by their emotion, but it makes it feel like that you don't have control.
Yeah.
And for us, that's not a great sign because at any moment, if whatever news happens,
Mm-hmm.
you're bound to do anything, to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something we want around us as men. We don't want a woman where anything can come out of her mouth and anytime.
Mhm.
Pause, right? No, well,
Mm.
anything, she'll be able to say anything at any time
Mhm.
because we're in different environments. We're protecting and
Mm.
providing for you. And if you don't have that control, then you can potentially put us in a position that's not a healthy or safe
Mhm.
position. And we'll have to defend and protect you because you don't have control of what you say.
I would really, really say that this is the one piece that's probably the biggest game changer when a man decides subconsciously if you are a woman that he wants to hook up with or he wants to actually marry, is how you
Yeah,
respond and react.
definitely.
And I know this to be true too because the women that I coach that are now engaged and married and the ones that are attracted amazing provider energy men, guys do stuff, right?
Hmm.
And that's just normal part of dating.
Hmm.
And especially when they're unconscious, they might, like my husband, he was used to being a bachelor, he was used to random stuff,
You
right?
could be chewing with your mouth open. Anything, right?
Random stuff,
Yeah.
he was used to that. And until you come along and you're calm and you know how to communicate in a way that maybe he doesn't call you when he says he's supposed to call you, or he got really busy with work. This often happens, especially with provider men. They get really distracted with work and they're tunnel vision, right? And then you're over here feeling like, hello. Right? You don't want to be reactive and coming
Yeah.
at him. There's a way to handle that situation. And when I coach our ladies on this, I'm like, okay, do this when he comes back. So many times the guy is like, I really
Mm,
appreciate how calm you were and how you
yeah.
communicated this to me. And then it just makes them want to
Yes.
pursue you more.
Yeah.
It makes them want to marry you because, like, now they know if they make a mistake, because as amazing these guys are, they do make mistakes. They know that they have that space
Yeah.
where you're not going to be a freaking bomb going off if
That's so
he
true.
says or does the wrong thing. Yeah.
So true. And even real quick, our conversation when you first detached.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something
Mm-hmm.
that I pointed out before as well. When we were talking, we were in the talking phase, not even the dating. We were in
Yeah.
the talking phase and things weren't going anywhere. I was in Chicago, she was in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't making a move to come see her. And it had been a month, maybe a little bit over a month. She made a decision that she wasn't going to stick around for it. So we had a
Yeah.
conversation and well, she did most of the talking,
Yeah.
but during that time, she said it in such a calm way. She wasn't
Yeah.
triggered. She wasn't telling me you said you was gonna do this or
Mhm.
you lead me on. It was
Mhm.
none of that. It was just like, okay, I see you have a lot going on in your life right now. I don't want to hold you up. Basically have a good life and left it there. So so for me, even though at the time I didn't know, but that was something that I reminded myself of. Like this was something that in a tough situation, she responded in a way that was still a controlled way,
Mhm.
and she still wasn't leading with her emotions in the
Mhm.
response. So that's something that sticks out so much when you have that
Mhm.
emotional intelligence where you're able to regulate in those moments, those tough moments, and have conversations, hard conversations,
Mhm.
but come across in a way like she did.
This also is what makes you stand out so
Yeah.
much in the dating scene because 90 something percent of women are not like this.
Right.
90 something percent of the women on the dating scene right now are hyper reactive, anxious, triggered in their
Yeah.
masculine energy, in their chasing energy, don't know how to communicate with the masculine. They just talk like in a way that they talk to their girlfriends or talk to their friends or talk to their exes, and it obviously has not worked.
Mm,
So when you come onto the scene, and you know how to communicate with the
yeah.
masculine. You know what to say and not to say. You know what to do and not to do. And let me just say, it's not to say that I wasn't bothered. I
Right.
was bothered.
Right.
Okay, I was pissed. Like if we're just being real, I was pissed. I was venting to my girlfriend Leslie, my
Mhm.
mom at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, and but I didn't let him see
Yeah.
that side. So it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to
Mhm.
be annoyed and bothered if they do something that they're not supposed to be doing, but it's you having enough healing and emotional mastery that you know how to communicate with
Yeah.
them. And that's the game changer, ladies.
Yes.
And that is what's going to make you stand out so much
Yeah.
in the dating scene.
So I'll
Mhm.
get to my next
All
point,
right.
and I have two more points now.
Okay.
The last point is probably the most important point,
Okay.
but let me get to the point number 7 first. So this point is the thing that you don't do.
Hmm.
Do not do this in the dating phase, and that is start getting ahead of yourself
Mm.
and planning future
So good.
things out. It's like you've gone on a date with him,
Hmm.
maybe two. You've already picked the location for the wedding, right? It's going to be a on location wedding, so you're going to have it in the Bahamas.
Mhm.
You know all of that. You know you've picked out the house that you want with him. Now this isn't just like something that you're doing what you want within yourself. You're already looking at, okay, you're doing the AI stuff online to see how your kids are going to look. You're doing everything. You're doing the most.
Yeah.
You're talking to your friends about he's the one. You know, he said this to me. You start planning
Mhm.
ahead, and you start within yourself. It's part of it. You start getting attached,
Mhm.
and you start thinking this is the one. And what
Mm.
happens with that, you really a lot of times set yourself up for disappointment, because anything he does that doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like,
Mhm.
now you're taking it personally. Now you're looking like, why isn't he asking me to get married? Why isn't he, you're not even able to focus on and enjoy the relationship, because in your mind you're past just the dating phase. You're waiting on him to propose to you, and anything other than that doesn't make sense. So make sure during the dating phase you don't start planning out the
Mhm.
future by yourself. Right
Mhm.
now, if he's talking about the future, great. You all can take
Yeah.
that leap and take that step. But if you're doing this on your own, just sitting around daydreaming, you're at work, and you can't even focus because you're just
Mhm.
thinking about your future with him.
Mm.
This is something, and he'll feel this energy. He'll feel it. You'll come across, the way you talk to him will change, the way you interact will change. So you want to stay in the moment, stay present, and enjoy getting to know him.
That is so good.
Yes.
So, ladies, you're not fantasizing about the story, 'cause
Yes.
and it's okay to imagine. It's okay to fantasize about your vision and your dreams and your desires, but don't get attached to the who.
Yes.
Right? So you're still in the energy of you're going to be a wife, things are working out in your favor. Of course, we want you to be in that frequency, but you're totally detached from the who. As soon as you start planning out stories in your mind, what's going to happen is you get attached. So it's not that you're attached to the guy, you're attached to the story around the guy.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing like I was just talking about hoarding, right? Where people in their home they have all the stuff that they haven't been able to get rid of. It's not that they're attached to the thing, they're attached to the story,
Mm.
the emotional story around the things. So if you're struggling with letting go of something, a guy, a situation, it's because you are attached to the story. All right. So to prevent that in the dating phase is you exactly what you said, you're staying totally present,
Mm-hmm.
you're enjoying the moment, you're allowing things to unfold naturally, you're allowing him to show you his true colors, you're appreciating, but you're not getting attached to any stories around his potential or your potential together.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies,
Yes.
huge.
So good. So the eighth point.
Yes. Okay. So, ladies, huge. And I know you might not agree with this one, but it's a game changer, ladies. Don't sleep with the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do not sleep with the guy. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because as soon as you sleep with him in the dating phase, he has no reason now to pursue you. His brain chemistry changes. Now, this is what typically happens, ladies. And I understand you got your needs, you're a grown woman now. I understand. It's a lot harder when you're older and not when you're, young, 20 years old, right? I understand that part. But you got to do whatever you can to maintain that celibacy because one, it's going to separate you.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it's going to filter out the guys that are not serious about you. You'll know right away. You know a man's intentions as soon as you say no to him.
Mm-hmm.
If you say no to him, and he runs away, that's really good data for you, ladies. If you say no to him and he still pursues you hard, like my husband did,
Mm-hmm.
that's data for you, ladies. That tells you he has self-control in that area of his life, right? If he can't control himself in that area of his life, you're going to have problems in the marriage, ladies, right? So this is a really good filtering tool with dating and with men. The other thing too is your brain chemistry and his brain chemistry changes. This is subconscious. Okay, so I'm a hormone coach. That is my background. That's what I specialize in, is helping people re-regulate their hormones and their nervous system. And when you sleep together, you release a bonding hormone called oxytocin. And you're going to release it, he's not going to release
Mm-hmm.
it. The woman's brain releases that. That's why you feel so attached to him. Men can sleep, and I'm not saying men should do this or it's right. It's just how we are biologically wired. Men can sleep with women and they won't get physically bonded to them hormonally. They hormonally don't bond to women that way. They don't fall in love with women that way. They fall in love by pursuing,
Mm,
by having to overcome something. Sperm energy.
mhm,
Ladies, if you don't believe me, think of the sperm. Sperm energy. They have to compete, they have to chase to get to the egg. That's how they fall in love with you.
mhm,
That's how they value. For a woman, that's not how we fall in love. We fall in love with closeness. We fall in love hormonally through intimacy as well. Now, if you're a woman, you're like, well, I don't get attached. I can sleep with guys. You are so damaged. Okay, I'm just being super honest with you. If you can sleep around with men and you believe that it does not affect you, that is coming from a very,
yeah.
very damaged place where you have learned to completely shut off your emotions. As a woman, you're like basically like a man, right? You're so in your masculine energy because you've been so wounded that you can completely detach that part of you. You're completely numb to that part of you, and you can just hook up with
Mm,
guys. I'm not even talking about the soul ties and the energetic and the spiritual entanglement that happens when you sleep together. That's even deeper. I'm just talking about the hormone stuff that happens. And then what happens for a woman when you're sleeping with him is it affects your decision making.
mm,
Now, all of a sudden, he looks like the best thing you've ever seen. Now, all of a sudden, you have all these chemistry, have all this chemistry. You love how he feels. You're obsessively thinking about him. You're wondering when he's going to text you. You're settling for
mm,
breadcrumbs. He hasn't planned a proper date. He hasn't planned to marry you. He's just talking, whatever. He's not flying out to come see you. You're not flying you out to come see him. He's not doing anything, right? And you're just settling for it because you guys have slept together, and it could just be the one time, but you slept together and now you can't stop thinking about him.
mm,
So that's why, for my ladies, I know it takes a lot of self control. Invite God into this, okay? It took me a lot of discipline, especially, dating someone like my husband who everything felt perfect
mm,
and he was doing all the right things, but I held off until our wedding night.
yes.
And once again, that's going to take a lot of nervous system healing, a lot of re-regulating, a lot of you just taking that energy and using it for your glow up instead of giving it to men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, men, I don't care how in love you think he is or
Yes.
how well the date went,
Mm-hmm.
men will go from 100 to 0 quickly
Mm-hmm.
with if you sleep with them right away. Or it could be a couple of times you sleep with them. We were watching a movie
Mm-hmm.
and it was so interesting because
Mm-hmm.
it was a lady, she slept with this guy. And she, she was talking about, oh, let's do this. When are we going on a date?
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself. And before she got out the bathroom, he had left. I mean, you all know the movie. He took both coffees. He left, and it was like he had detached so quickly because for
Mm-hmm.
him, he had gotten a prize. Like he
Mm-hmm.
got what he wanted out
Mm-hmm.
of it. Maybe he, thought she was the one, but once they slept together,
Mm-hmm.
something changed right away. He left. He didn't even remember her name. He left. He saw her out. He still didn't remember her. He was talking. He wanted to hook back up with her. I want to see you again. But as far as him wanting to pursue her, everything had left. And I'm not saying that's 100% of the time,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to put yourself in a situation where that's even a possibility because it's something that in most cases men can't control how their body responds, how they respond once they capture the prey.
Mm-hmm.
And the prey a lot of times is getting you in the bed. So once they get you in the bed, they won, they conquered it. They don't answer their calls. They don't call you like they said they would.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're seeing these signs, even if you don't think this is you, if you're seeing signs where they don't call you, they don't follow up, they're not as on it, they're not trying to plan dates,
Mm-hmm.
they're not pursuing you in the same way that they pursued you before you slept together,
Mm-hmm.
then you really want to look at it and approach it differently moving forward. It
Mm-hmm.
might not be with him.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you want to go back and say, what can I do to change him or to let him know that I'm serious?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the way you let him know you're serious is just moving on
Yeah.
because he already has an idea in his mind of what it is. And the detachment of you showing that you're different, that potentially can have him come back. But what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for your husband, even if it's not him, because you want to make sure you pursue it. Don't give up the goods. And I'm saying this as a man. You
Yes.
know, I don't have any horse in the race or anything like that, but I'm telling you because I want to see you ladies succeed, get married. I want to see
Mhm,
you ladies have success in the area of relationship. And this is one of the biggest ways you can do it
mhm.
by not giving it up during the dating phase.
Put the cookie back in the cookie jar, as that movie was
Yeah.
talking about,
Exactly.
ladies, and seal it tight. Okay, because
True.
you are just totally going to separate yourself as a woman when you do that.
Yeah.
Your value goes up. Your value goes down when you sleep with them.
Yeah.
Your value goes up when you hold out. And if they're triggered and they're bothered, that's okay. Let
Good.
them be triggered and bothered. You don't react and get triggered by them reacting and being triggered.
Yes.
Okay, and even good guys will test you,
Yes.
ladies. My husband
Yes.
kept testing every day. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm just letting you know I'm right
Exactly.
here when you're ready. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, honey, we're
Yep.
still
Right out
waiting.
there.
We're still waiting until our wedding night. And we
But
did.
one
Yeah.
thing as well is what it does is it causes that man to either step up or step back.
Yeah.
So for me, we dated for 8 months. We got married in 11 months total.
Yeah.
So if that wasn't something that she was holding on to, we might, who knows if we
Mm-hmm.
would have gotten married or
Mm-hmm.
how long it would have taken
Yeah.
because it was like, okay, we're already doing things that I want to do.
Yeah.
So what's the rush? So for me, I knew I wanted to be with her. I knew she was a wife and things like that. But that put the candle on the cake. That sealed it.
Yeah.
That sealed it and let me know, okay, this is something that is better to do sooner rather than later because she's not budging. And
Mm-hmm.
if I want to not only have access to that, but have full access to her, because it was not just the area of sex, it
Mm-hmm.
was the area just areas in her life that I
Yeah.
didn't have full access to, and vice versa. So if I wanted that, then the thing that we have to do is take the next step. And it
Mm-hmm.
it was an easy decision, but because of her decision to hold off, that made me really step up.
And ladies, because we've coached women that have come into our world and they're already living with their boyfriend.
Mm,
It's a situationship,
yeah,
right? And they're sleeping with them and all that stuff. And they did a whole bunch of healing and they actually stopped sleeping with the guy. And they're basically like, I'm a wife.
yeah,
And he either steps up or he goes away.
yeah,
And now they're engaged, getting married. Okay, so I'm not saying it's easy,
yeah.
but you have to keep your eyes on the prize as a woman and just really look at what do you believe you're worthy of? Do you believe you're worthy of settling for some random guy who doesn't have to do anything and he gets access to your feminine energy and your cookie?
Mm.
Or do you believe that you are so worthy, you're so valuable, and you're keeping that for your husband? You're keeping that for your husband. And like I always say, God rewards obedience. And that's what I told myself
Yeah.
every day. God rewards obedience. And I'm like, I promised God that I wouldn't sleep with you, so I can't sleep with you. And it worked, thank God. Yeah.
Ah, so I do have one more
Hmm.
point that I'm going to get. I told you all
Okay.
this is probably the most important point. We giving you all a lot of details and skills and things to do,
Mm-hmm.
but this one is most important in
Okay.
my book, and that is don't ignore red flags.
Mm,
And
that's a good one.
that's so important. The thing is, first, even before you don't ignore them, you have to have your list of negotiables, non negotiables.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have your love list because you have to have something to reference to
Mm-hmm.
know what's a red flag, right? Because it's not only just like what you don't want, but what's truly a red flag. And a red flag could be a non negotiable. So when you have your list of negotiables and non negotiables, if he's a smoker, that's a red flag for you.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's not something that you want. So
Mm-hmm.
when he has that, I don't care how good of a person he is,
Yeah.
he only smokes, at night, outside in the garage, whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
If he's living a life that doesn't line up with what you desire, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's a bad person,
Mm-hmm.
because a red flag doesn't mean he's a bad person.
Yeah.
A red flag just means that it doesn't line up with your idea
Mm-hmm.
of what
Mm-hmm.
living life looks like. So when you see these red flags, that's the point where you have to make a decision to
Mm-hmm.
move on. Especially again, if it's a non negotiable red flag, you have to move on because most likely, and you don't want to try to change him, but most likely he's not going to change in that area if this is something that he's been doing most of his life. And you don't want to be the reason
Mm-hmm.
he changes.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you become the reason that he changes, then it's not that change that you can depend on,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not something that came from within, it came from without. So you want to be careful not to try to change people when you see these red flags, but make a decision and know that the guy who is for you is out there. And I'll give an example real
Yeah.
quick. Even with my wife, it was a few things that she didn't want,
Mm-hmm.
that she looked at as a red flag. And I'll let her give it. Actually, she looked at as a red flag. And when she saw those, or didn't see those, she was like, okay, this can work, or okay,
Mm-hmm.
this can't work.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, you have to be really healed and really confident as a woman. And you can't be getting attached too quickly,
Yeah.
because as soon as you see those things, if you really like the guy, it's going to be hard to detach from him. Right, ladies? So take time and really understand this ahead of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had some really strong non-negotiables before I even entered the dating scene. And the great thing about my husband is that's who he was to his core.
Yeah.
I didn't have to, for example, and I'm not saying you need to do this, but this was for me. It was really important for me that I was with a man that didn't drink, and didn't smoke, and didn't swear.
Yeah.
Had no addictions
Mm.
at all. Drinking, porn, like none of those things. I wanted a man that was completely sober, because to me, that's the definition of masculinity,
Mm.
right? They need to be focused,
Yes.
provider, protector. They can't be influenced by things. They
Mm.
can't be influenced by alcohol and
Yeah.
drugs and women and stuff like that. That weakens a man, right? So for me, and I know it's possible because I was married before,
Yeah.
right? And there's a lot of married couples that I know where the husbands are like that
Mm.
as well. So for me, I was like, that's just I'm not even entertaining anything less than that. And when I met my husband, he was already like that.
Yeah.
And like it had nothing to do with me. He was already living that life. He had always lived that life. Once he became a born again believer,
Yeah.
Christian. Um, so it was easy, right? But sometimes for women, they're like, oh, but he drinks a little bit too much, or he lies,
Mm.
these like little lies, stuff like that. Those things, don't ignore that.
Mm.
You're collecting data, because if he's getting intoxicated and losing control in the dating phase, it's going to get worse in the marriage phase, right? If he's sharing, if he's telling lies in the dating phase, that's going to carry into the marriage phase. So those are things that you do not want to ignore, ladies. Yelling, swearing,
Mm.
coming at you
Mm.
aggressively, hard non-negotiables for me. Like I wouldn't even entertain that. And because it's not even in my energy, I've never had to deal with that
Yeah.
ever. I've never had to deal with my in this marriage or my last marriage. But that comes from your energy, ladies. The women that are in marriages or dating guys where the guy is breadcrumbing you, he's abusive, he lies, he swears at you, he calls you
Yeah.
names, it's because you tolerate it. It's in your energy to tolerate it and give him 5, 6, 7, 8 chances, right? But when you show up on the dating scene healed and confident and willing to walk away, if you see any of those things, you're going to be in a completely different league when it comes to dating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to go ahead with the
Oh, yeah.
you want to go ahead with the final point?
Oh, no, that was the final point.
No, I had the ninth point.
No, you had the 10th.
Not the first one.
Did you?
Yes. Did you remember your last point?
I swear I gave 5. Okay, let's summarize here. Okay, so my 5 points were, and I could be wrong. So my 5 points were: number 1, don't come after the guy, don't pursue him, don't initiate the text calls, anything like that. Number 2 was don't get attached easily. You need to stay detached until you get a ring on your finger. Number 3 thing is do not react at all to the guy ever. Number 4 was don't sleep with the guy.
Mm.
Yes, I have one more. Okay, let me give you a really, really good one. Number 5. I have so many, so hold on, give me a second here. I want to give you guys a
Yeah.
really, really good one.
Yeah.
Of what not to do when you're in the. Oh, here's a really, really good one. Okay, do not go on a date. If you meet him online, like on a dating app, do not go and meet him in person until you have a video call.
Mm.
Have a video call. Do not go meet a man that you met on a dating app through texting without having a video call. This is really, really important for you ladies. One, for safety.
Mm.
You
Yes.
want to make sure he physically is who he says he is. And also men want to see that you are who your pictures are,
Yeah.
right? So it helps both of you. But then also, it allows you to feel his energy. It allows you to see, okay, is this guy creepy or is you guys have a good connection?
Yeah.
You don't want to waste your time as a woman. If he's a true provider man, he does not want to waste his time
Yeah.
either. Provider energy men are very busy.
Mm.
They're very busy and they don't want to waste their time. If they're successful, they don't want to waste their time. So by you getting on a video call with him, it's going to be win-win situation for both of you where you can see each other, you can check, okay, this person's legit,
Yes.
you can feel each other's energy, and it's just a great filtering tool. So that would be my 10th.
Yes. And
Really,
adding
really
to it,
important.
if he's too busy to
Yeah.
get on a call,
Yeah.
he's going to be too busy in the relationship.
That's good.
So understand, even though he's a provider energy man, he has a lot going on. He may be traveling. If he doesn't have 5, 10 minutes to talk to you, just to talk face to face,
Yeah.
then that's not someone you want to even invest your
Hmm.
time or energy in because it's always going to be something else. You're not going to be his priority at
Hmm.
any point. And if that's what you want, then great. But if
Hmm.
you're looking for a man who's there, someone who
Hmm.
adores you, who shows it, who's not just throwing money at you or anything like that, but he's actually there for you. He's present.
Hmm.
If you're looking for a present man, he has to make time
Hmm.
initially to see you. And again, of course, the safety thing as well. You want to make sure he is who he says he is because now, with so much with AI, with online stuff, you have to make sure that everything matches up. Otherwise, you don't know who you're going to end up going up to meet and meet in public places only.
Yeah.
Don't meet at your house. You
Hmm.
know, don't meet at his house, anything like that. Make sure you take precaution.
I have an entire attraction formula for my ladies. I go through 10 things on how to online date, the do's and the don'ts, how to set up your dating
Yes.
profile, what to say, and our ladies are getting crazy
Yes.
results. They give us their dating profile, they've optimized it. We help them with their photos, their bios, everything, and now they are attracting so many amazing men. So also, if you want access to that, that is available for you in the Feminine Energy Academy. And of course, we have a free trial for the new people there. So you can literally sign up today and binge watch all the stuff that we're talking about, the attraction formula, the online dating, the do's and don'ts. And then you can also have access to tomorrow's class,
Yes.
master class that we're doing. Our master classes is where we help you master
Mm.
these skills on YouTube, on our podcast. We just help you, we just bring awareness. But in the Feminine Energy Academy, that's where we get under the hood
Yeah.
and we do that deep inner work. We work at a nervous system level. We help you with rewiring, reprogramming you. We help you with healing your inner child wounds, your love blocks, money blocks, receiving blocks, because those things are all connected to each other. And then a huge thing that we do is we actually help you with mastering communication with
Yes.
the masculine. And of course, tomorrow the masterclass is on words that men love and words that men absolutely hate. If you want to activate his masculine
Yes.
energy in dating and in marriage, you definitely want to know these things ahead of
Yes.
time, ladies. And once you're in there, what I want you to do, once you join, I want you to private message me. There's going to be a message button. Private message Natasha. Okay, Natasha Harris, private message me and tell me your story. I want to know your story. Tell me why you're in there. Tell me what you're calling in. Tell me what your goals are. It could be hormone weight loss related. It could be nervous system healing related, inner child healing related. It could just be around dating, marriage, even receiving blocks around money. If you're calling in higher cash months, tell me because we have thousands of dollars worth of programs in there, all available for you in the Feminine Energy Academy. And I want to help you save time by focusing on the right programs that really match where you're at right now. So once you do that, I can send that for you. And yeah, you're gonna be a completely different person. I guarantee it.
Yes. And
Yeah.
tomorrow specifically is unplug coaching with Coach B.
Yeah.
So make sure you jump in there. That's when the ladies get a chance to first listen to me kind of walk through and
Hmm.
give them all the information that I've gone over, all the information I've
Yeah.
prepared, but also they get to ask questions
Yeah.
because a lot of times it's one
Yeah.
thing to hear.
Hmm.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. but what about my situation? What
Mhm.
about what's going on? So we get to go in depth with the coaching and
Yeah.
answer those specific questions, not answer the question and get you out the way, but let's dig a
Yeah.
little deeper.
Yeah.
Let's see exactly what's behind your question and why you're in that situation. So it's a great opportunity for you ladies to come in and get a man's perspective on
Mhm.
exactly where you're at, why you're there, and how you can move forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge with the master classes is just getting that personal coaching,
Yes.
and that's just completely different. That's what really changes the game for the ladies. That's what separates the ladies that just kind of keep taking programs and learning, and you're reading books and listening to podcasts, and the ladies that are actually getting actual feedback in the dating process, understanding how the man thinks and how that applies to your specific situation. And those are ladies that end up getting engaged and married. And we see that all the time. This month alone, we've had 2 engagements and we have 2 marriages. Okay, so we got receipts. We know what we're talking
Yeah.
about, ladies. All right, anyway, we love you so much. Have the most amazing day. And we will leave the links below so you can click on that. And we will see you in the Feminine Energy Academy.